Back in the bad old days of the internet, when browser compatibility was far worse than it is today, we would resort to all sorts of hacks and tricks that exploited bugs in browsers to wrangle them into submission. Although, as the browser wars raged on, it was clear that using hacks kinda sucked. As new browsers were released, our hacks would break. Soon we realised that trying to target all browsers was a bit of a pain, and that really, as long as our site worked for older browsers, it probably didn't have to look exactly the same. We called this graceful degradation. Design it for new browsers, but just make sure it's still usable on older ones. If you flip that on its head though and design for the baseline first, then add Shiny to the new browsers that support it, you will invent the concept of progressive enhancement. This is a much better way of doing things, as you know that everyone is going to get at least the baseline experience, but those lucky enough to have newer browsers will get all of the new stuff that you've been playing with. Computer games have been doing this for years. They will offer different screen resolutions and texture settings so you can still enjoy the game on a mid-range computer. The game doesn't change, it's just the quality of the graphics. A key part of progressive enhancement is feature detection. If we detect the browser can use a newer, better or faster technique, then we can act accordingly. A perfect example would be video. Pretty much all desktop browsers will play Flash video, but it can slow down your computer. Newer browsers can play video natively using the video tag. Of course, they support different formats, so we need to detect what type of video to serve up. Flash is the baseline and the video tag is the enhancement. So how do we detect this and other features? We can use a library called Modernizer. It's a script that will, among other things, work out what the browser you are currently running on can and can't do. To use Modernizer, simply download it from their website, the URL is in the notes and errata, put it in your JavaScript directory and simply insert the tag. It needs to go at the top so the results of the test are available straight away. The first thing we can try is to give our app some depth by adding some shiny gradients. Modernizer will add the CSS gradients class to the HTML element if the browser supports them, so we can target these browsers by the following rule. Internally, when you request a gradient, the browser creates an image on the fly, so to drop them in, we assign them to a background image. We are creating a linear gradient starting from 0, 0 and finishing at 0, 100%. The start color is a mid-gray, which transitions to a slightly lighter gray, and another gradient starts straight after and transitions from dark grey to an even darker grey. We should also add in the W3C equivalent to this linear gradient so that those browsers that do support the new standard will see the gradient too. Ooh, shiny. So while we're at it, we might as well add a gradient to the select state as well. We've used an RGBA color notation here, which allows us to set the three elements of color, red, green and blue, as a number between 0 and 255, as well as an alpha value which sets the transparency, with 0 being completely transparent and 1 being completely opaque. And don't forget to add the W3C equivalent in. And the last piece of visual fruit that we'll add is a little glowing orb to the selected tab. To do this, we'll use the before pseudo class to insert a new element and apply a radial gradient. Pretty sweet, huh?